today, and we're on PA series. We are starting a very emotive series, but very important and vital discussion that I believe that needs to be had, especially within our community. This series is all about motherhood, the journey, fertility and baby loss. I'm happy for you to be able to be part of this series and share your journey for others to learn from, but also to understand where you're coming from and people to relate to this journey. Can you please introduce yourself before we go on to the basics of the show?
Okay, so I'm Sylvia, I'm a mum, I'm a wife, I work for the Women's Association, and I also have a business. Brilliant, Sylvia. Yeah, so that's a bit about me really.
Lovely. Welcome once again. So today's series, I do want people to understand that this is can be very emotional and relate for some people. So there will be information that we're going to share at the end for people to have resources for them to be able to tap into. If you feel like you need any support later, please tap in. It will be in the description box. It will be something you can contact me as well, and also Sylvia is you don't mind being contacted after as well regarding this as well. So we'll be having lots of information as well. Take a moment as well, but we just want this to be a place where you're informed, you feel understood, and having a side to the story on the journey of this that people can relate to as well. Before we go into just a little bit of background about yourself. So I always ask people, like, before motherhood is kind of like a thing that when we are younger, we always think about. Some do, most people do. Most people think, okay, by the time I become a parent, I'm a mother. For you, did you always think about your mother, something in your mind, or something I wasn't sure about it, or what areas do you think about becoming a mum? Was it something you would enjoy or something about?
Yeah, I always knew that I wanted to be a mum. I was going to have 4 kids because I'm one of 4. I'm the oldest of 4.
And you loved it?
Yeah, well, I don't know, I was wanting 4 kids, so it's like, yeah, that was, I always imagined what my kids would look like, you know. I always thought I'd have a girl first, and imagine. Exactly. So yeah, always, you know, I've always thought about what they look like me, something like that. We always do things, you know.
And so you had in your mind already a option that you wanted.
Yeah.
And that's fine. So that's something I think we all have our visions of what we want life kind of. Some people do, some people go with the flow, but most of us, young girls, we aspire to something that we think we can have. So in terms, you've already said that you're a mum. Do you work from home? Do you work from home?
Yeah.
So you work from home, and flexibility for you.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So can you just kind of explain to us in your journey of baby loss and what challenges you experienced along the way?
Okay, so having children, like prior to this year, was never an issue. That I'd get pregnant, have a child, thank God the child was fine. You know, so it was like, okay, we want to just go again. And February this year, no, late January, I got pregnant. I was like, oh, I'm pregnant, so I want to, you know. And then I started bleeding, and I was like, whoa. So obviously we'll go into that later, but yeah, so I found out that I'd lost that one, so that was tough. And then got pregnant again a few months later. Okay. But to be honest, we didn't even know how to feel. It was like a bit nerve-wracking, like, you know, you don't know this one stay or this one, you know. Especially because we haven't had much help in terms of like medical, so we didn't know all the stuff like the do's and don'ts. And then a few months after that, I got further along than the first time, and then unfortunately we went for the scan and said like there's no heartbeat. So that was tough because it's not something that I've experienced before. You know, even when I spoke to the doctor recently, she was like, you know, when you were having kids before, were there any like losses? No, it was just always straightforward. So to have 2 in 1 year as well, that's been tough. That's been really tough, especially considering that prior there's nothing, you know, and I haven't had any indication that there's anything that could be wrong. But yeah.
Sorry to hear that.
Thank you.
And thank you for sharing that with us again. You touched a little bit about having medical discussions after the 2. When you got pregnant the second time, and then was there anxiety, was there worry? You spoke quite a little about that. Tell us more about how you felt being pregnant again, you know, having had experience of, okay, from going from thinking, I'm just going to have a pregnancy, and what was the difference this second time around, experiencing the loss prior and then being pregnant again?
Okay. So I'll go from the first one. So when I was pregnant the first time, I started having a lot of pain, and then I was bleeding. So like I said, so I thought, okay, you know what that would be just from what you've seen in the films and stuff. I had to wait A&E for like 6 hours one day, just to be told nonsense. Like they'll just tell you nonsense, and they didn't really even talk too much about the fact that it could be a miscarriage or anything like that. They were just asking me like, oh, do you have pain here? Do you have a history of UTI? All this amounts of nonsense. And then so they prescribed me. So then I went back the next day because they didn't give me anything or do anything of substance. They just said they'd refer me to EP or whatever because I already told them that I was pregnant. And the next day the pain was intense. I couldn't move. I couldn't sleep. I was just tossing and turning. I was in so much pain. So I went back to A&E for a further couple of hours. So altogether I spent 10 hours in A&E. And then the doctor was Nigerian. So he was like, he was a guy, so he didn't really care too tough, but he was like, you know, I'll give you antibiotics to help the pain to go away. There was no real like talk about I'm having a miscarriage or whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Did anyone have to say to you?
No.
Did you think at this point you were having a miscarriage?
I was really hopeful that I wasn't.
Yeah.
I was really hopeful that I wasn't. I was having faith that, you know what, everything will be fine. Because when you go online, because you don't have any help there, so you're going online. So people online, some people saying that they've bled before and, you know, it was fine. So you just have that faith that, you know, it'll be fine. So, but there was no talk about the fact that you could be losing the baby or anything like that. Even when I was a triage, I was a mess. I was just bawling my eyes out, I was just crying. And so there's me thinking that, you know, they'd at least put me on a priority list to be seen because I am bleeding, you know, and right now I feel like I'm going crazy, sitting in A&E for hours, not knowing what's going on.
They'll treat you like everyone else.
Exactly, waiting. I'm sitting there bleeding, so in essence I'm sitting here losing my child, and I'm just having to sit here with all manners of people going through different things. Not that anyone's is less important, but it's like something like this, you have to think about it from a mental standpoint as well as a physical, like what it's doing to me mentally as well, just sitting here bleeding, and you guys are not addressing it. Because you're not addressing it. You're just saying that you refer me to EPU, and even that I have to wait till the next day, and I have to wait for them to call me. So it's like, it's just mentally torture. It's torture in so many different ways, because now I have to wait for you to call me. You can call me at any time. I have to sit by my phone like a crazy person thinking that they're going to call now.
Anxiety.
Exactly. So I went for the scan, but they just said, oh yeah, you can come back in 2 weeks. What does that mean? So
no one's still addressing like what could happen.
Exactly.
And for those that don't actually know, we have spoken about EPU. EPU is an early pregnancy unit. So these are for people that may be going through, but also there's very early pregnancy before usually like labour ward or triage will see you. Usually before 14 weeks, they usually see an early pregnancy unit.
Yeah. So they said that they consider that, but they're going to wait 2 weeks. So basically, I've spoken to someone who's been through a miscarriage, told me that they basically just tell you that because they wait for you to bleed it out, so that you can come back and they can tell you that, it's gone. So I booked myself a scan with Queen Elizabeth in their Medusa, and they said they can come back, but they told me to come back within a week, which was much better because it's like I don't have to wait 2 weeks. So I waited for a week, went back, and then this was a black lady that scanned me, and then she was like, okay, nothing's there. Is that what you're expecting? I was like,
very blunt like that.
Yeah, very blunt. No care, no, nothing. No empathy, no sympathy. Just like, if you just wait up there, I'll bring out your.
So you didn't feel like there was sensitivity about listening to the news?
At all. She was awful. Like, out of all the people that I spoke, they were all bad, but she was the worst.
She's delivering the news. She didn't know that you're coming in still with hospital, by the way.
Exactly.
No one's told you.
Exactly.
So that was the first time you're hearing that. What particularly, you've been hearing it's infection, you've been hearing your body's treated, and then obviously come back every time. And this is the first time I told you, this is what you're expecting.
So, and she didn't really even say like, I had a miscarriage. So I was still dazed, I think, basically by the way she said it, the way she delivered the news. And just obviously, I'm still dazed. So the first time that I realised fully what happened was when she brought out a piece of paper that said complete miscarriage. That was the first time that I'd, come to terms with the fact that, oh my God, the baby's gone. So then that
seen
was,
it now.
Seen it written down, especially because prior to that I had no real discussion with anyone, or they didn't even give me, even when they told me that, they didn't give me any leaflets or anything like that, just to be like, okay, this is how to handle the situation, or this is who you can speak to about the situation, anything like that. So that was tough. So on to the second one. I only found out, I kind of knew before I did the test. I knew like a few weeks, I think, before I did the test. But I was too scared. I was so scared. I was scared, I was anxious. But my husband knew as well, because there's certain symptoms that I have when I'm pregnant. I start spitting, I was sleeping like a cow. So he knew. But it's like, we weren't going to push it. Even when I told him that I wanted to do the test, he was like, how about you wait till after you led, because I was leading in church, like praise and worship, not praise and worship, and offering songs. So why don't we wait till you finish that, just in case? So,
the faith aspect.
So I did, and we got home, and then we did the test. We didn't even know what to do. We high fived, like we found out, because it was like that same excitement. Yeah. Because it was like, I don't know.
A different feeling.
Yeah, it was a different feeling. So, but we were still like, as the weeks went on, the excitement kind of grew. It's like, okay, like nothing's happened. I went for a scan again, and I said the baby's heartbeat's there. Basically, the same lady that told me the first time that there was no heartbeat was the same lady that told me. Yeah, same lady. So I was really like, yeah. She told me that the baby's heartbeat was there. I saw the heartbeat, so I was so excited. I was like, okay, this is good news, because I've gone further than the first time. It's like, okay, this is good. And then, but I still kept having this pain, and it was just very random, like, but it wasn't as bad as the first time, and no bleeding had happened.
It's different now.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, maybe it's just a certain thing. I'm older now, you know, I'm 35. So I'm older now, maybe, you know, that's just something that comes from being older. But I just kept having this feeling that I just want to go for a scan. So I thought, okay, with the pain, maybe it's a UTI, because obviously when you're pregnant, you need to go to the toilet a lot. Yeah. So I was like, okay, maybe it's a UTI. So I got an appointment with the doctor. She tested me, or nurse. She tested me saying that, okay, it's not a UTI, but if you carry having this pain, because I told her I was giving birth to St. Thomas's. So if you carry having this pain, go to St. Thomas Hospital. So I was like, okay, cool. I left there, and I was like, okay, cool. But then it's like, all of a sudden I left, and my brain kicked, like, I came back to my senses. I was like, wait, what? Would I call St. Thomas Hospital if I'm having pain when you are still my GP? So I'm still under your care for anything that I need to see you for. So then I just kept calling GP surgery, and they're like, no, the receptionist was telling me that, oh, we have to speak to St. Thomas's. And I was like, first of all, you're a receptionist. Like, your job is to just get me to speak to a doctor, you know? Like, you can't diagnose me or tell me what's best for me.
It's actually more than the GP said, they think they know it all. I don't want to go into that, there'll be another story.
So I was like, okay, cool. And then I just switched at this point. I just was like, listen, I've had a miscarriage before, I'm having pain, I don't know what's going on in my body, I need to be referred to someone, I need to scan, I need to speak to someone, I don't even know at this point. So she said, okay, so she was able to get, she said that she'd get the nurse to refer me, but that wasn't even good enough for me. So I called back again, and this time they put me through to a doctor, because I just kept calling, and I was like, I need to know that I am being referred. So I spoke to an actual doctor, she was referring me while I was on the phone, so I was like, cool, I know that I've been referred. So Derek Valley contacted me, I think the next day, the next day. They said, okay, they've received 2 referrals from me. That's how I was calling it.
They know about you.
They received 2 referrals from me. They're going to give me a scan. It can't be like today or whatever, but on Sunday. So I was like, okay, cool. So it was like I was going to the scan place to play, because it was just like, okay, I just want to see the baby, you know, just make sure. And then I just laid there, you know, we're there, because with my husband, we're there. And then she was like, oh, I'm sorry to tell you that there's no heartbeat. It was like...
She was expected to.
Not as sensitive as you'd expect with someone dealing with this kind of situation. It was like, she was the first one I saw when I first bleeding the first time. So someone, a nurse or a doctor dealing with this kind of stuff, they need to be empathetic, sympathetic, all manners of, you know, like, almost like holding your hand, kind of like hugging you, do you know what I mean? That kind of stuff. And I don't know if...
You felt that?
No, I didn't, to be honest. I didn't feel that at all. She was like, okay, do you want us to... Because my husband was like, are you sure? And then she was like, yeah. So basically, if there was a heartbeat, you'd see blue and red here, but you don't see blue and red and anything like that. So it's just like, okay, so we'll leave you and we'll come back. It's like, okay, cool. So I just cried. I cried. I was like, what is this? Like, I didn't come here for this. I didn't expect this, you know.
You come for the reassurance.
Yeah, that's it. So, you know, you have to clean and all that stuff. So the nurse came back in, my husband was asking a few questions, like, you know, she's not been bleeding or anything like that. It was almost like she got offended, like we were trying to say that she doesn't know how to do her job. Do you know what I mean?
So the lack of understanding again. Like obviously you're going through a grieving moment. These questions are coming from people that we don't want to believe this is true right now. Normal reaction. Yeah, she wasn't even sensitive. She took a personal attack.
It was almost like that. And she was like, no, when you don't have to, it's called a miscarriage, you don't have to have bleeding or something like that. Unfortunately, it just happened. And then she just gave me some leaflets, she said that they'll contact me. No, she said basically she was trying to book me in for a DNC and then and there. And it's like, sorry, wait, I'm struggling to even come to terms with what you've just told me and you're telling me already that you're going to take the baby out. Like, I can't even understand what you're saying right now. I cannot comprehend what you're saying at all. Talking to offering me DNC, I don't know what that even means at this point. So my husband's like, can we just take some time to think about it? I said, yeah, that's fine. We'll contact you in a few days. Gave me a couple leaflets and stuff. And yeah, that was that part of the journey. And then I just didn't want anything to do with Darren at this point. So I'd already referred myself to someone, like I said. So I just contacted them and to let them know that this has happened, And I don't even know how I got myself into EP. Oh, I went for a private scan.
Okay.
That was it. I went for a private scan.
She confirmed?
Yeah, to confirm. And they confirmed it, and they were lovely. It was like some place in Bexley. And they weren't even meant to refer me to St Thomas's. They said that I think it was just God, they said that I should call St Thomas's, and I couldn't get through. And to be honest, that day, because it was like a confirmation of like my hope being lost or being dashed. So it's like, I couldn't even think. So when St Thomas's didn't answer, I didn't even care. So then the receptionist called me, and then she was like, oh, we've got you an appointment at St Thomas's tomorrow. I was like, what my days? Like, thank you so much. So I went there, they had to do another scan.
All these scans.
And just to confirm, the nurse there, she's an older lady, amazing.
And that's the transparency you expect.
Yeah, she was so nice. Like, she confirmed obviously that the baby was gone and stuff, but she was what you'd expect in such a situation. You know, like, I'm really, really sorry. Like, you felt that she felt for you. Do you know what I mean? And that's what you needed. So it's like I had to wait for hours to see a doctor there. And then the doctor came, again, he was very empathetic, George. He was a really good doctor. Very, very empathetic as well, even though he was a guy, but still that's what you'd expect. Had to do loads of blood tests again. He just took me through the process and asked me to do, you know, the nurses had asked me, do I want to do a DNC? Do I want to wait? They spoke to me about the pros and cons for waiting and stuff. Because I initially wanted to just take the tablets. I didn't want to wait because I still had the pregnancy symptoms. And that was torture. Because you still feel pregnant, you still feel sick.
And you reminded me
of
what?
Because that pregnancy was hard. It was very hard. So it's like, I can't go through this. I can't. If the baby is dying, I cannot go through this for no reason.
And I think it's different when you are going through pregnancy symptoms knowing there's a coming.
Yeah.
I know what's coming.
Exactly.
But when you know this is sadly.
Yeah.
It can be so hard.
Yeah. So I mean, waiting just was not an option. And then I wanted to have the tablets and just dig it out. Because that's what you see online and they didn't give you any information beforehand. But then when I went to St Thomas's, they said that the risks, because the sac is so big, you could hemorrhage. I was like, oh my days, I don't want surgery. Like, I just don't want surgery. So the doctor came and he spoke to me and just kind of convinced me that, listen, this is the best thing for you because God forbid you hemorrhage, you don't want to go to that valley. So, you know, you will just be bleeding at home and you won't even know that you're hemorrhaging. God forbid. So it's like, okay, let's just put this in. They said that they're going to treat it as an emergency case, which was great. So the following Monday, had to do loads of tests again and wait for hours because they had to move me from the morning to the afternoon surgery, even though they told me to get there at 7 a.m. And it's just like all this waiting. It's just
hospitals.
Oh my gosh, all this. But the staff there, like their service was amazing. They were just so caring. They were so what you'd expect. Then they put me under and woke up, and that was the end of that. It was afterwards dealing with the loss. That was tough.
What kind of support did you have around you at the time? I know you had a husband.
Yeah.
How was it for both of you? Let's start with you 2 house. Did you feel like you could both talk about it? Did you feel like you dealt with it separately? How do you feel?
Okay, so I have to always talk about the 2 losses because it was different each time. So the first time, the first loss, it's like I didn't want to fully let him see me cry or let him see me like feel a way about it because I didn't want him to feel worse because obviously he's dealing with the loss too, and then he's now dealing with me dealing with the loss. So it's like, yeah, so I felt like I'll cry like when no one's seeing me and stuff like that. But this second one, it's like I just need you to hold me. I need to just cry. You know, like I really cried with this one, and it's like I had to lean on him so much because it's like I couldn't hold myself up. I needed him to like hold me up almost. I just, we really dealt with this one together. And it made a difference. It did make a difference because I just felt like I didn't have to be strong. And, you know, it was during my interview that we did on my channel that I was able to hear fully like how he felt and the fact that, you know, he didn't need me to be like strong. Yeah, I could, so it was like, because we did an interview before I got pregnant the second time, So I felt like, okay, I can lean on him and he'll be okay. He'll be able to handle it and manage because he still had to look after the kids while I'm recovering physically and because I had to be in bed and wear these ugly socks for a few days.
And I think that transparency, what you spoke a little bit about, like you guys had that in through your own page, kind of which you guys know about later, is you were able to communicate.
Yeah, I had to.
And if you didn't communicate or had that situation before, you may have carried on thinking you need to be this which is a detriment to you.
Yeah,
and to your healing as well. So having that, we both were able to be what you both needed in that time of your recovery. You touched a little bit about having your children at home to care for. How hard is it to parent when you're going through a loss and pain?
Okay, so the first time was tough because it was half term. So it was just being there. And my nephew. We never my nephew. But it was like, I didn't want them to feel anything. They didn't know. They still don't know about that first one. I didn't want them to know. I wanted them to just see mum as mum. So I had to switch off that side and be mum. And just, you know, put a smile on my face and do what they needed to do. Obviously I couldn't take them around everywhere because obviously I'm still, But they had no clue. There was no difference to them.
How hard was that for you though?
It was tough. It was tough because, like, I told my mum and my dad that no one should call me, but they're still cool. They can't. They can't. Those times that I would have on the phone, go to my room and just cry. But my kids never saw me cry. They didn't see like me go through the pain and stuff, which was kind of helpful in a way because it's like it gave me like a way to switch off the pain, you know. And so once I come to it, I cry again, you know. So it's like, it was good in a way because it did help me to kind of heal because it's like not that I don't have time to go through this right now, but in a way I don't. I do. Because they still need me, you know. So I still have to be mum for them because it's not fair for them. They didn't make this happen, so I still need to be their mum.
Second time around, was that similar?
The second time, my husband was home. So he did a lot of even my husband and my mum did the school drop off and all that kind of stuff, and you know he just catered to me at home, to be honest, and just did all the run around for me, and you know, so it was just. And when I was feeling like my faith is just wavering, I just looked at him and said, "This is how I feel. Like I feel like you have to hold me up because I cannot hold myself up. I can't." So I think being 100% transparent, which I was. Really helped because it's like I'm not hiding anything. This is how I feel, you know. And I was going into a dark place. I really was, because happening the second time around, and it's like I'm a strong believer in God, and it's like God, why is this happening?
Honest question.
Like what's going on? Like the first time, okay, cool, but the second time, like why? What's going on? And I told my husband that my faith is struggling. I was telling him my faith is struggling, and he'll pray for me, he'll encourage me, you know. And it helped me to see that, you know what, everything isn't going to be how you want it to be in life, you know, but God is the one constant thing, you know, consistent thing, that He's the one that got me through this, because even when I would say that stuff, there was a time when I was just scrolling on TikTok and a message came up from like Apostle Solomon or whatever, talking about how the devil wants to isolate you and stuff like that. And that woke me up because I was going to a place of isolation. And there's nothing anyone could have said to me that could bring me out of it. But it's that one message. Yeah.
How do you think?
Oh, it's great. Like, it's much better. It's much better because it's like I see that. Do you know what? God has done so much to show me, even along that journey, that I'm still with you. This just wasn't meant for you for now, but I am still with you. I've got you. You know what I mean? Like, there's, even just how the surgery went and the people, because I prayed before it, and just the people, they confirmed to me that, you know, God is hearing you. It's not like, you know, for some places that you go to church and make you feel like it's your sin. Do you know what I mean? It's just, it's your sin that caused this for you, and you just be feeling guilty and stuff. But it's like the way God had me, I knew that, sure, it's not that, it just wasn't my time, you know. Yeah.
Totally. Everyone is in mind, we spoke about having a community around you. Did you really speak to people around you? I know you have a husband, but could you tap into a community? Was there friends, their family that could link into? Or did you feel like within our black community, sometimes many women feel like they can't speak about this, miscarriages, even spoke about churches thinking of it taboo, it's your sins, or you can't speak about miscarriage, keep it on a quiet, you know, keep containing it, or shame that comes with maybe, you know, oh, I had a miscarriage, I'm talking about, do you feel that's something you kind of could link in with, or something you felt yourself?
So I started with my family. My family were great. The first time I told them, I don't want anyone to come around, I don't want to see anyone. Obviously, like I said, my parents still get called in, which has made me have to deal with it. And it's like, you don't want to deal with it, but you have to. So I would cry whenever I spoke to my dad, because he's so emotional. But the second time around, that day, when I went to the scan, I dropped my kids at my mum. I had to come back to get the, I cried like a baby on my mum, I cried. So it's like they all knew, and you know, my brother randomly come by that day as well, so he was encouraging me and, you know, words and stuff, and my sister and my other sister as well. So it's like my family were all great. My sister, Deborah, she was like my diary in a way. It's like, because you know, people just try to make things better, but you can't. So it's like, I would just offload on her, and and she wouldn't force it, and that really helps.
And that's hard to find out somebody. When people are promise over, they just want to help. Sometimes you just want to be heard.
So I just literally tell you on my diary, I just offload on her, and that was it. And I feel better because like the first time I tried to go back to church again, I sat in the car crying for like the service, and I just called her and I just messaged her like, I'm at church, I can't go in, I just can't go in, and just uploaded on her. So you need someone that you can, and a message to people out there, you know, if you're around someone that's going for it, they don't always need you to problem solve, because you can't, but sometimes you just want to be heard. In terms of church, my pastor and his wife were fantastic. Like, that day when we found out, they knew about the first one, and then the second time, the day that we found out, like literally I was on the phone to them from the hospital, because they built that relationship with us where I feel comfortable enough to, you know, call them and know that I won't be judged. So I called them and they were just like on my day. So they drove all the way down from, was it Brighton or Bristol, they were on that day. And they came over, they prayed with us, they encouraged us, and you know, they've been amazing throughout the whole process, always calling us and checking on us. But I still, in terms of like the church community, and not specifically my church now, but I still felt some form of shame. And that, I think that was really getting to me, because number one, this happened the second time. Like, what people are going to say. There's one thing happening, it happening the first time, but the second time, just knowing, and not because I care what people say, but it's because I know that there are some people out there, especially like in, I don't know, let's say black circles or community, that are not very sensitive with their words. So for instance, like things like wanting more children. I've heard like, oh, I didn't even know you want more children, and you know, stuff like that. Because it's like, you're trying to say that basically I have enough children, so I don't need any more. And so it's like,
does that excuse your loss though?
Exactly. It doesn't. It doesn't. So it just makes you feel like, oh, these people are going to say that, oh, see, it's not even meant for you, and you know, all this kind of stuff that comes to your mind, like, you know, that people are going to just be insensitive, and that really got to me, and I felt shame for the first time. I just felt like that stigma, like, you know, even when I went to my friend, his party, Jason, that I did the recording with, for the first time. I was so anxious that day. Like, I remember just sitting there in my hands, and I felt like I never leave this house till like 3 or 2 in the morning. Do you know what I mean? When it's something quiet. But that day I left at 10, and I felt uncomfortable.
People were watching you.
Yeah, I just felt like people could just see it all over me. And you know, the people that I was with, they were great. Do you know what I mean? They wouldn't feel away, but I just felt away. Yeah, I just felt away. You know, and a lot of people didn't even know, but I still just felt away. Yeah, and then this is one of the times I do that. You know, God just has me, because my friend Danny, she just sent me a message on Instagram. She didn't even know about the loss. Sent me a message on Instagram that a lady was sharing about. She was talking about that fact that she's having a miscarriage right now, and the devil wants you to feel shame, but yeah, like God doesn't want you to have any shame. And I burst into tears. Yeah, because I knew how I was feeling that day. I was like, why do I feel this shame? Like, I feel like I can't even open up my mouth to people now to tell them that this has happened again. Like, not just one time, but this has happened the second time. And you know, people are going to be thinking that there's something wrong with me, or some other spiritually, or there's something wrong with, do you know what I mean? All of this kind of stuff that just goes through your mind, and I couldn't be as open the second time as I was the first time, because I just felt like people are just going to just say, oh man, this is rubbish, and that, like I said, I don't care what people think, but the words that people say sometimes are very hurtful.
They stick with you.
Yeah, especially during something like this.
You remember, I think there's a phrase that my dad always says, and it's like an African phrase saying like, words are like eggs. Once you've said them, you can't melt it.
Yeah.
And I feel people need to be so sensitive about, and go back to what you said initially about when people are going through such a thing, stop trying to be problem solvers or having to speak. You don't have to. I think sometimes it gets so uncomfortable in people's pain or in people's sharing something, and you just feel like, I've got to say something. And it's not really about you, it's more about my responsibility. So it's going to be something I feel like I don't know if I was off of my word, but sometimes it's not needed. You can say the wrong thing that's not needed at that time.
Do you know the amount of people that are uncomfortable with miscarriages?
It's crazy.
People are so uncomfortable.
Loss, miscarriages.
It's crazy.
And people are just uncomfortable. They don't experience it, they don't want to say. So then I think, like, I want to believe people don't mean the things they say. I want to believe that, you know, so there's something that, you know, they have said things that, you know, couldn't be nice. But I want to be sometimes out of awkwardness, out of not knowing what to say, out of offering, you know, next time, I'm sending a crazy now, you're gonna have another one, you know. Yes, no, maybe another one, but right now I'm like grieving on what I've lost. And no one can change what I've lost now, you know. And I feel like obviously I'm a good place thinking, don't worry, there'll be another time. Yes, there will, but I'm grieving now, and I've lost something now. And that's what we want to hear. And that's what I want to see you where you are now.
And don't just not say anything. Because I went for a period of, like, obviously you go through the emotions, and I went for a period of anger. I was angry at so many people that are close to me, people that just know me from afar. I went for a period of anger because I feel like the first time a lot of people reached out to me and stuff, I felt like the second time I didn't get that level of support, which is when I needed it the most. And some people, because obviously I posted my video on my WhatsApp and my Instagram, and you know, obviously you can see who sees it, and it's like, the fact that you saw this and you didn't reach out to me, you have no excuse in my opinion. Even if it's just a message, a love heart emoji, or message something, to not say anything, like you don't have any excuse. You don't, whether you're a man, or whether you're a woman, whatever you are, you have no excuse to not say a single word. All it takes is, I'm very sorry that this happened to you.
This is a big thing. This is a big thing, and I'm shocked you approaching this because I feel like, I wonder why this happens. I think there's a lot of times that people will be going through something like this, like loss, like anything that really close to your heart that's been really damaging, and you expect community, friends, anyone, and this social media as well doesn't help sometimes, all stuff, and you feel like you couldn't reach out, or you didn't say sorry. And I feel like I said, I want to believe people are just so awkward sometimes with not knowing what the right thing to say, and they're silent. I think this would be the key time to over here. Silence is not the right, and it's never going to be.
There's times when I'm like, I said that someone's lost someone, and I feel so uncomfortable. Not because what they're going through is uncomfortable, I don't want to say the wrong thing, but I still make sure, it may take me a whole day to say something. I'll proofread it and read it just to make sure that I have reached out.
Or said something. I've seen you, I know about it. And you know, I think the best thing to say, I'm thinking sorry for you. I think thinking of you, usually you don't know how to say things. Thinking of you.
That goes a long way.
And then we go back to thinking of you. You have knowledge, you've seen. You don't might even dismiss my pain or what I've been through, especially someone that I hold in high regard. These moments can make me have resentment for those people, and that's definitely true. And I think that's something sometimes maybe like pain we do feel uncomfortable with loss, and not death, loss.
It's
can
very
be
uncomfortable. But how does it help the person? So you have to think about how you're going to come out of your own comfort zone to give comfort to somebody else. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, I don't think people are, I don't know if they're willing to do that. I don't know. But one thing I will say as well, in terms of like friendship and stuff, my friend up there, she was like stuck to me, as in the hospital went with 7 hours, she was with me. Like, if you have someone around you like that, like it helps. Helps to just be there for someone, you know, because she was there for me, like so selfless, like bringing me stuff, just all this kind of stuff. So it's like my message to people is, if you know, be that kind of person. And as well, if someone is like that in your life, don't push them away in your pain, because it's easy to do so. Because you're in your pain, you're going through what you're going through, but you need that kind of person. As long as they're not saying nonsense, then you need that kind of person. It's so easy to push people away. It really is, but it doesn't help.
I feel that's a key part to take accountability as well. That also in your pain, you can become a whole new person, and sometimes we push away people that you love them not.
100%.
So we have to check ourselves in our grief that if someone is reaching out or being that great person to us, that we need to push. Like even like you said, your family didn't call you, you didn't just cut them off. You still have to know that it's a great place.
100%. Because exactly, I could have been like, you guys think this is told you. I'm going to cut it off.
And it just becomes a bit better. You know you're coming from a good place.
100%.
And they can't ignore you and where you are.
Because I would have been angry.
I'm like, y'all didn't call me. I said, don't call me. Still didn't call me. You know what, go for it. And you'll be, you know, and that's literally, I know it's a crazy reference to like, some people feel like, well, you don't call you. If you know what I've been through, you know what I'm coming from. So, and I said, but also I can't to be like, don't push them away. Don't do too much. So, I know it's not easy because sometimes something is, you just come and do better. That brings me to my other question to you, that how, obviously you spoke a little bit about you having your own, I've seen, obviously, I reached out to you as well, so what you're doing with your own YouTube, you started I'll let you explain actually. What has this birthed in you? I know you were able to do a road to recovery, but what do you think this experience twice now has birthed in you? That could be in you as a mom, you as a friend, you as a wife, you as just you. What do you think is birthed in you and going forward as well?
That's a hard one, because I think when the first one happened, and I kind of bounced back quickly and, you know, did the videos and everything. And then when the second one happened, it was like, I didn't post for ages. I thought like, how am I going to come out and say this to people? But then I just felt like it's not about me, because this could encourage somebody else. So it really made me think about others. This has definitely made me think about, to be more empathetic. 100%. I've become definitely a more empathetic person, because it's like, if others are in pain, I've realised that it's not about me. If someone is in pain and they do push me away, it's okay, because they're feeling what they're feeling. So that's one thing I've definitely learned, about not everything is about me. And I think it's definitely made me a stronger person, because if you go through a miscarriage twice and you come bounce back, it doesn't make you stronger. And I feel like I no longer feel, and I thank God for my church community, I no longer feel that shame, and because they have really, any shame that I could have felt, they really kind of just eradicated that, you know. They were just, they were there for me in so many ways. So definitely faith, like my faith in God. In a situation like this, it can decrease, but it increased, because I realized, you know, the Bible says my thoughts are not your thoughts, you know. We have our plans, you know, but God's plans are greater, and ultimately, they will work out for our good, So it's definitely increased my faith levels. My faith levels were going down, I can't lie before, they were going. They were going, I was like, God, are you here? I was like, are you here? Are you hearing me? Like, seriously, what's going on? But he showed me in so many ways that, sure, I'm good, I'm here. You know, it's just not how you want me to be here. You
and
know?
the mindfulness and the time.
And
you know that God, you were there.
Like, it's when you can look back, you're like, oh, I'm sorry.
I saw you here.
No, literally. So it's like when you pass through the fires will be on the water, will be with you.
Yeah.
So it's like it's a confirmation that you will go through your fires. You will go through your waters.
He didn't promise. I wish he did, you know.
No, we're not Christians. Believe that life will be easy.
I wish he did promise it.
But
it's never did.
It's not an easy life, but it just means that he'll be with you when you're going through it. So it's just, it's definitely made me appreciate my kids as well. And appreciate the fact that motherhood is not an easy journey. Just because you've been able to get pregnant a few times easily before, don't take it for granted. It's a blessing. It's a real blessing, you know. And also, like, be mindful. Like, I think I'm cautious of what I say to people, especially when they're going through stuff, because words, like you said, it goes a long way. Like, they go a long way. You know, they can really sting and stay with that person. So I think it's just made me more confident as well in a way, because I probably never would have released such a video. Even now, like, I have loads of videos that I've recorded of just me in my car, no makeup, just doing stuff that I would normally do, like in terms of talking about the second miscarriage and stuff, because I haven't released that yet, but I will. And just even singing on one. I've never done that, I would have never done that before. But I just feel like if one thing I say can bring someone else out of that pit, because you do go into a pit, like sometimes. If it can bring them out, then it's worth it, you know. So it's definitely made me more like, and being on camera about makeup, like, it's not something I would have done like that before, like recording videos, but now it's about me. It's not about me, it's not about how I look. If God has given me a message at that time, I'm not gonna wait till I put it on my face and all of that stuff. So I think that's something to birth in me, just a desire to be a voice, I guess, and help others, and hopefully, in a way, you know, if what we're doing can kind of change the system, especially for the sisters, you know, if it can change the system for us, then that would be great. But you know now what resources are available. If you've gone through and the whole, you have to wait till the third one before they do any third miscarriage, before they do any investigations and all of that kind of stuff. It's not acceptable.
Exactly, and that's definitely one of the things that raising this awareness and having a chat with all of you, women, especially yourself, is to discuss things like having a miscarriage, having a baby loss, going through infertility, having struggles, challenges to conceive is not a taboo. You should not feel shamed by that. You should be able to speak out to it and have a community as other black women, even not forget black women, just women as well in general. You should feel supported by those health professionals. You shouldn't feel like health professionals are not seeing you, are being insensitive for you, or be treated very badly in such a sensitive and emotional time for you. You just talked a little bit about having to wait till the third miscarriage before interventions and investigations are took place, or looking at things to work before they support you. That's a sad thing on NHS. Things like funding, things like resources of money, NHS is required to do that. Private healthcare has to tap in. So if we segregate people that haven't got money, we've got language barriers. By saying third miscarriage, if you've not got private, you are at a disadvantage. Wait till one loss is bad enough, two is bad enough, third loss is bad enough. And we spoke about not just going for a physical change or physical loss, you go through a mental state when you go through that as well.
I thought I was just going to touch on, because they say wait till the third one because you're saving resources and stuff. If someone goes crazy, are you not going to use that money to now?
They don't think about it. They don't. There's no think on that. You know, it's really hard. Having been a midwife and support so many women through loss, through things, it's very, very hard. And it's scary to see how many women go through these things. If you see a lot of women's obstetric history, and I feel like, why don't people talk about miscarriages more? Why are we not prepared for miscarriages? And I think that people we go with like I just have a baby, but we're not prepared that, you know, it's not all pregnancy actually go to term and that job. There is resources for SANS, SANDS, SANS, they're a really good resource. I'll put these all in the description after. Tommy's have a great resource as well for you regarding anyone's got kind of loss as well with children, miscarriages. And also we have one for lullaby trust. And they support especially like sudden loss that can happen through like later baby loss or even so SANS are really good resource. Tommy's also lullaby trust. I'll link them all in. They're a great resource as well for us. But also, like I said, you can. Sylvia's really good. She's got can you share your details about your road to recovery?
My page is called Her Road to Recovery. So please feel free to DM me if you just want to chat or ask questions, or if you can't get me there, obviously, like I mentioned, my business page, Balloons by Sylvia, because I'm on there more. So just drop me a message that you've messaged me, or anything like that. I'm happy to talk to anyone. If you just even need a sister, I'm there, because I know that it can be very isolating, and I don't want anyone to feel like they should feel isolated or feel shame because they're going through this unspoken thing. The more of us speak about it, the more, because it's a common thing, so it shouldn't be something that is so like hidden away because so many people go through it. So the more of us speak about it, the more common, or the more publicised, I guess, it will become.
Thank you so much, Sylvia. I really, really appreciate you sharing your story today, and I'm grateful for what you shared, and I really hope that this will meet people where they are, and I'm really grateful, and I'm wishing you the best for the future.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. God bless.